What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We've got some college football for this nice Friday night. Before I jump into anything, guys, I do want to talk about our free picks yesterday because we are coming off of a sweep on these free picks. These are the three slips I gave you guys in the last video. Absolutely free. Gillikin and Myers cashed out. That one was almost a first half cash. This is actually at halftime what the stats show. So you can see he had 3 punts. Two PATs at halftime, almost first half cash. We had Sam Darnold and Kyler Murray. Darnold was very sweaty. I'll be honest with you guys. The missed field goal they had in the fourth quarter was one that saved us. It was a blessing in disguise. I had the total on this game, as you guys know. I do want to say, guys, I am doing a ladder challenge. So if you guys follow me on any social media, Instagram, TikTok, that's about the only other two. If you guys follow me on those two apps, then you know I started the ladder challenge yesterday. So the goal of this ladder challenge, let me explain really quickly. I'm starting with $250. You do not have to start with $250. Yesterday, we took this teaser, Seahawks plus 6.5, and the teaser points over 35.5. I put $250 on this. The payout was $401. So now on the next ladder day, we'll play this full $401. On a minus 160 odd teaser, and I'll probably do this with college football and NFL. I probably won't keep it strictly NFL, but what I'm going to do is pretty much go all in every single day. If we can hit 10 days in a row, we'll have almost 30 grand. So that's the goal here. If you guys want to tell it, follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and you guys will see every single one of these. But that being said, guys, some other slips we had the JSN 50 yards, which cash, that was sweaty. We paired him with Harrison. That cash is right there on Prizepicks. Another Prizepicks play right here, Murray with the JSN, 100 to win 200. And that was the Kyler Murray passing yards discount. Then we had another nice slip on underdog. So overall, for that one game slate yesterday, very, very nice day. So if you guys do want to get all of our plays, you know where to go. The WAP link's down in the description. I do want to say, if you guys don't want to pay for VIP, you don't have to pay for VIP. The Discord is free to join. We'd love to have you in the Discord. I give free plays for NFL Sunday pretty much every single week. I'll have another free slip, an extra free slip, not just the video, posted in our free pick area in the Discord if you guys do want to get that as well. So join the Discord if you're not in there already. I will go ahead and pick a winner from yesterday's video to win a free month of VIP. If this video gets 250 likes, I'll pick another comment down in the comments to win a free month. So make sure you guys are smashing that like button, drop a comment. I do appreciate the love and support from every single one of you guys. So let's go ahead and pick our comment. Winner is for San Antonio Flowers. Let's go, Ace. Send me a message on Discord, San Antonio. Got you added for another free month of VIP. Appreciate the love and support from you, my man. Let's go ahead and jump into some of these free bets of the day. So we got a 3-game college football slate. We actually got some decent games for a Friday night slate. Usually you don't get ones like this. So we got Florida State versus Virginia. Virginia at home. TCU versus ASU, Arizona State. Arizona State is at home. Then we got Houston taking on Oregon State. Oregon State is at home. So let's talk about the first game of the day. I'm going to give you guys my favorite teaser on this slip. And I will tell you guys, let me go ahead and get everything set up. Sorry, my Discord is covering my Streamlabs, so I can't see what I'm actually doing over here. But I'm going to give you guys my favorite slip. Okay, so this slip I ended up putting I put $1,250 on this slip, which I'll show you guys for free. It's my favorite one to have. So I don't know if I'm going to make this a ladder challenge or not. This might just be a regular bet, and then I'll specify if it's a ladder challenge play. But let's talk about Florida State and Virginia. So we got FSU minus 240 odds right now. FSU is minus 7.5 favorites, and the over on this is sitting at a 60.5 total. Public betting, we got 85% of the money line bets on FSU. 71% of the money on Florida State covering the spread. And we got 72% of the money on the over on the total. Let's take a look at these two teams, guys. This is a big game, and I know it doesn't seem like it, but Florida State looks strong. Top 10 team right now. They're ranked 8. Beat Kent last game 66-10. Beat Alabama in week 1 31-17. They have dominated every game they have played so far. 77-3 victory over Eton. If you look at the Cavaliers are 3-1 on the season. Florida State already with a bye week. Cavs coming off of a 48-20 victory over Stanford. They lost to NC State 35-31, very close game. Then they beat Coastal Carolina 48-7. They've had some pretty dominant victories as well. Virginia's not looking like a weak team. That being said, how strong is Florida State? Florida State's played against 2 trash teams, and then they beat Alabama in week 1. Was Alabama the Alabama they should have been in week 1? Don't know. So I'm not real sure how Florida State's going to do. Florida State looks phenomenal compared to what they did last year, so I have nothing negative to say about Florida State. Last year, I was a Florida State hater because I lost a lot of money on Florida State last year, specifically Florida State, just because I trusted them so many times against weak teams, and they would get beat by trash teams. So, started this season thinking Alabama was going to destroy them, and they have proved me wrong, and they look phenomenal so far. So, I don't want to give any discredit to Florida State because, like I said, they're looking strong, but I don't know how much I trust them so far. So I need to see them beat some better teams. I think Virginia is going to be a pretty decent test. It's not like Virginia's a powerhouse or anything, but they're not looking bad, and I think Virginia can actually put up a fight here. If we look at Florida State so far this season, their offense versus the Virginia defense. So Florida State actually has the number 1 ranked offense right now when you look at yards per game. They're averaging 628.7 yards per game on offense. Now, take that with a grain of salt. We just saw their opponents. That's not anything spectacular when you see who they played against. If you look at the defense for Virginia, Virginia is averaging 313.5 yards on defense, or yards allowed so far on defense per game, which is the 44th ranked defense. So if you take a look at these green arrows, pretty much everything is pointing towards Florida State, the better offense. They're averaging, let's see here, 8.9 yards per play. Virginia's giving up 5.4 yards per play. 9 yards per play is absolutely insane. Like, that's crazy. I don't care how weak of a defense you're playing against. 9 yards per play, you're averaging almost a first down per play. On offense, they're averaging 58 points per game on offense, which is the number 1 ranked offense in the league right now. And then Virginia's giving up right at 19.5 points per game on offense, or on defense. So, swapping this around, looking at Virginia's offense, they're getting 564.5 yards on offense per game right now, which is the 5th rank, which is a ton of yards, man. And looking at FSU, they have the 21st ranked defense, or 21st ranked defense, giving up 248 yards per game. So Florida State's defense hasn't looked bad, but I mean, who have they played? Once again, like, it's got to take all of this for Florida State with a grain of salt. I feel like Virginia's had some games to where, like, schedules look tougher, man. Stanford, I'm not saying any of these are powerhouses. Stanford and NC State here, though, we got 2 teams. Their schedule so far, even though Florida State just beat Alabama, it looks tougher than Alabama's schedule, or Florida State's schedule to me so far. So I think this is going to be a good test, like I said. I think Florida State wins this game. If you guys want my pick for the game, obviously they're minus 240 favorites. I don't think Florida State's going to lose this one. Minus 7.5. I actually got it at minus 7, and it was minus 7 like 5 minutes ago, even though this minus 7.5. On Bovada, you could give it at minus 7. So if I was going to take a teaser, and I'll make it pop up here in a minute, I'd be taking Florida State just to win the game. It'd be a 7-point teaser. Florida State at 0. If they win, we cash. So you're pretty much getting Florida State money line, and then I'll play it with something else. So we'll talk about that here in a minute, and I'll make the slip pop up here in a minute, so stay tuned. It'll be in the next game after this next pick. You'll see what I played on the teaser, and I put over $1,000 on the slip, so I'm very confident in it. Obviously, confidence doesn't mean anything in sports betting. I could be a 99% confident, and then I lose all my money. So got to remember that. It's hard to beat some of these lines sometimes, but that's why I like teasers, because you get a little bit of an edge, even though the payout's not going to be perfect on those. But jumping into game 2, we have TCU taking on Arizona State. To me, this is going to be a very, very good game. ASU is sitting minus 138 odds at home. They're minus 2.5 spread favorites, and the total on this is sitting at 54.5. If you look at the public betting, 51% of the money on TCU, 49% on ASU. So pretty much right down the middle. 54% of the money on TCU. Gosh, dude, I'm struggling to cover the spread. Then we got 83% of the money on 54.5. And I want you guys to take a grain of salt. I'm struggling to talk right now. You got to understand, man. You wake up, you find picks, you haven't talked to anybody all morning, and then you come in here and you just start talking to a camera. So sometimes it gets a little bit tough to get warmed up with your words if you're not like a great speaker. And if you guys have watched my channel for a while, you know I'm not the best speaker. So I'm struggling a little bit. Bear with me. Taking a look at both these teams' schedules so far this season. TCU sitting 3-0. ASU sitting 3-1. TCU has beat some pretty decent teams, man. They blew out UNC. North Carolina got destroyed, and they just beat SMU 35-24. SMU was a tough team, man. I'm a fan of SMU. I'm a fan of TCU. I like the Horned Frogs, man. They're a good team, and them being underdogs it's tough, man. If you look at ASU, Sun Devils look great too. They just beat Baylor 21-4 or 21-4. Look at this, 21-4, guys. 27-24. Baylor, I actually played in a teaser last week. I took them like plus 4.5. They covered that, but that was sweaty, man. I didn't think Baylor was going to cover, and Baylor's got a dynamite offense. So defensively, they're not really there. But ASU beat them. So ASU come off another win versus Texas State, 34-15. Beat Mississippi State 24-20, and then they won their opening game 38-19. So ASU has looked pretty strong so far this season. If we take a look at this game, we can look at the TCU offense versus the Arizona State defense right now, and you can see TCU is averaging 516 yards per game on offense so far this season, ranked 14th in the league. The defense for ASU is averaging 334 yards allowed on defense, which is the 55th ranked defense. So right now, yards per play, TCU's averaging 7.4, which is crazy good. And if you look at the defense for ASU, they're giving up 5 yards per play, which is still a decent amount, man. They're still giving up or pretty much a first down every 2 plays. So that you got to remember, this is I think this is going to be some mid defenses and some good offenses playing against each other. So looking at points per game, TCU's averaging 42 points per game, or 41.7 if you want to be exact. And then the defense for ASU's giving up 20.5 points per game. If you get everything swapped over here, ASU's getting 406 yards per game on average, and TCU's giving up 353 yards per game on average on defense. So they're giving up a lot. You can see all the green arrows pointing towards this ASU defense or offense over the TCU defense. TCU gives up a lot of points, man. You can come down here. They're giving up I say that, and then their points is 20 points per game, but still giving up a decent amount of points. ASU still scoring a lot, 30 points per game. This is going to be a shootout, in my opinion. The total on this game, we've already looked at. The total right now is 54.5. I'm leaning the over on this if you want to take the over at minus 110. I think this is going to be a shootout. I don't think this is going to be a defensive game at all. One thing you really need to look at for the Arizona State defense is how many passing yards per game do they allow. And they're giving up 238.8 passing yards per game. And I say that because TCU is going to air the ball out, man. Josh Hoover at quarterback, great quarterback. Dude is a killer, and I think that he's going to have success in this game. So if you look at pass attempts, averaging 36 pass attempts per game, completions, 24.7 completions per game, almost a 68% completion rate. So I do expect TCU to have some success tonight. I don't think that ASU is going to be able to stop the passing game, and I think that's going to be a big factor in TCU being able to score. So, and the same thing, TCU doesn't play defense very well. And we can click this and look at the other teams they played against. UNC didn't do very good in their opening game, but SMU 24, AC 21. Like, they're giving up 3 to 4 touchdowns a game in the last 2 games against. I mean, SMU has a pretty dynamite offense, but they struggled that last game. Jennings, I think, ended up almost getting injured, or he went out for a little bit and come back in. I can't remember exactly what happened in that game, but regardless, I do like TCU in this matchup. If I had to pick a winner, it's tough, man, to call a winner on this one straight up money line. I want to take TCU. I'm gonna be honest with you, just because I'm a fan of TCU. I'm indifferent to ASU. I'm not a fan or a hater or anything, but I mean, I'm kind of becoming a fan of ASU. They're looking pretty good, man. But TCU, I like TCU. I like Josh Hoover as a quarterback, and I'm going to roll with TCU on this one to get the upset at plus 142 for my pick of the day. And I'm going to make it pop up on the screen right now. As you guys can see, I have Florida State -7 and TCU +3. So TCU's getting 3 on Bovada. I did a 2 teaser, -125 odds. I'm taking 7 points for both of these. So Florida State -7 now becomes Florida State -0. So Florida State money line. TCU +3 now becomes TCU +10. So TCU can now lose by 10 and we still break even. I put $1,250 on this play. It's more than I recommend anybody playing unless that's your regular unit size. So if you're not going to, I might as well call this 2 units for me, a 2-unit play to win 1,000. So I'm risking $1,250 to win 1,000. 1,000 is straight up profit. So if this slip cashes, then the return on this will be $1,250. So that's my favorite play for this college football slate. If you guys do want to tell that one, I'm giving you guys that for free. Now, taking a look at the final game, we have the Houston Cougars taking on the Oregon State Beavers. Oregon State is playing at home. They're plus 456 underdogs, and they're getting 13.5 points on the spread. Total on this is sitting at 47.5. Public betting, 85% of the money on Houston, 83% of money on Houston covering the spread, and then 62% of money on the total on this one. This one was the riskiest one in my opinion because Oregon State is not that good. They're 0-4 this season. Just got beat 41-7 versus Oregon. You can see all these teams. Fresno beat them 36-27. California beat them 34-15. They're struggling. If you look at Houston looking pretty good, man. They just beat Colorado 36-20, beat Rice the week before that 35-9, SFA before that 27-0, which who cares about that one? But regardless, man, Houston looking better. Oregon State at home, man, getting 13.5. My call for this one is if I'm going to play it on a teaser, you could play it with one of the other two lines I gave you. So you can take either TCU plus 10 or Florida State minus 0 on the teaser and pair it with Oregon State plus 20.5. I think they keep it within 20.5 points. It should be more competitive than that. If they got beat 40-0, it wouldn't surprise me. But I do like this play for Oregon State to get 20.5 points. If we take a look at Houston versus Oregon State so far, take a look at the Houston offense versus Oregon State defense. Pretty much everything pointing towards Houston here. They average 388.7 yards per game on offense. Then Oregon State's giving up 464.5 yards per game, well above the league average at 371. Looking at the offense on Oregon State, they're getting 319.2 yards per game on offense, and then Houston's giving up 224 yards per game on offense. So Houston defense looking far superior. So Houston's just a far superior team based off of stats and on paper. Like I said, I think Houston wins the game for sure. If they cover a 20.5 spread, that would be crazy. I don't think they blow them out that bad, but it's definitely possible. This is my least favorite of the two. My two favorite, like I said, TCU and Florida State, if you want to play that teaser. But if you want to play it again, I am throwing some money on Oregon State plus 20 on another teaser. It's already posted in our Discord. If you want to get that play, you guys know where to go. But that being said, guys, let's go ahead and take a jump into some player props for today. So I've got 4 player props that I like. Got some pretty good games, man, for player props, I think. So let's go ahead and talk about the first one. So the first one is going to be, I'm not going to say my least favorite. I actually like this one, but it's my least favorite prop to play. Not player and not pick for the slate, but I don't like playing receiving yards most of the time. It's just one of my least favorite things to take, receiving yards. There's a reason for it, and I'll tell you why. Last year, playing college football receiving yards, Prizepicks scammed me probably 5 times. And I'm not kidding. You guys might think, scammed? What do you mean scammed? This guy's full of crap. No, I'm dead serious, man. I watched some of these smaller teams, like Virginia I'm not really a smaller team, but if it wasn't like a top 25 team, they would give the receiving yards or the reception to the wrong player. I watched several players last season, and I posted it on Twitter. I tried calling out Prizepicks on this. It didn't help anything. They would make the catch, run for 30 yards. I'd be like, oh, man, he just got a 45-yard reception. This is freaking awesome. He just cashed my slip. And then they give the receiving yards to the wrong player. And I was like, okay, there's no way they don't fix it. ESPN would give the receiving yards to the wrong player until the following day, like 12 hours in. So at that point, Prizepicks has in their policy, we don't refund. It's been a day, you don't get a refund now. And so you lose your slip. They stat correct it, so ESPN ends up stat correcting it and fixing everything, and then Prizepicks scams you out of your money. And it's happened, like I said, about 5 times last season. So receiving yards in college football isn't something I love to play. I'm taking a risk on this one. I like Trell Harris to get over 49.5 receiving yards. I got him at 49.5 on Prizepicks. That's what I took him at. 54.5. If you want to risk it there, you can. I don't think that's a bad play, but you are going to be taking a bump on this one. So let's pull Trell Harris up real quick. Trell Harris, and can you get him at 49? You can get him at 49 right here, and I'll show you guys the slip I locked in here in a minute, but I got Trell Harris, 49.5 receiving yards, and you can see he's cashed it in 3 or 4 games this season. He's averaging 80 receiving yards per game. They're going against Florida State. Florida State has one of the better receiving defenses right now. They get up 170 yards per game receiving, which is the 28th ranked defense in the nation right now. You can see Virginia runs the ball 53% of the time, passes the ball 47% of the time. You also have to look at some of the victories they have. They have some dominant victories, which means they're going to run the ball more than they pass the ball. I do think they do air the ball out if against Florida State. I think Florida State keeps this game, stays in the lead, and I do think that Virginia has to air the ball out if they want to keep time on the clock kind of thing. So looking at this, Trell Harris is their second most targeted receiver on their team. Cam Ross is number 1 with 29 targets per game and a 20% target share. If you look at Trell Harris, he has a 23 targets and a 15.9% target share. So getting almost a fifth of the targets. I do think he has a good game here tonight. You can look at his receptions right here. He gets 5.8 targets per game and then 4.5 receptions per game. He's catching most passes. He's going to be a good receiver, and I like him here at 49.5 receiving yards if you guys want to lock it in. I do want to say, guys, before we jump into any other plays, if you guys do want to get a free month of our VIP, you can sign up using any of our partnered apps. That includes Parlay Play, Underdog, Sleeper, Chalkboard, Novig, Better, and Dabble. Any of those 7 apps get you a free month. You can sign up with 7 of them and get 7 full months of our VIP for free. $25 a month is what we charge for VIP, $10 a week. So you guys can actually take advantage of 2 apps right now, Parlay Play and Chalkboard. Both of these apps will give you free money just by using a deposit code without even making a deposit. So what you do is you sign up using code FANTASYACES, links down in the description for Chalkboard, and they will give you $25 for free, no deposit required. If you do it on Parlay Play, they give you $5 for free, no deposit required. To get free VIP, you do have to make a deposit on Parlay Play, $10. But on Chalkboard, you don't have to. Just sign up, use code FANTASYACES, take your $25 for free, send me a message, you get another $25 worth of VIP for free. So just throwing it out there. But college football, let's pull it up. Let's make sure Trail Harris is here. 49.5 receiving yards, 1.58. And you guys can see they got Gavin Sawchuk at 39.5 rushing yards. That's honestly a good play. I actually like that play. I'm probably going to play this. You got Josh Hoover passing yards, a 2X. Honestly, don't dislike that. So they got some boosted plays right now if you want to play that. So just throwing it out there. Parlay plays got some good lines sometimes. Sometimes they suck. It just depends on the day. But right now, I do like the right now, I do like the boost they have. Yes, I stuttered. Anyways, jumping into our second play of the day. We are going to be taking our man Connor Wayman, and we're taking the Houston quarterback, and I'm taking him to throw for 175 passing yards in this game. So this is who I ended up pairing with Trail Harris. Pass yards, 174.5, so we are getting a discount here. He has cashed this line 2 of 3 games this season, averaging 190 passing yards per game. He just had 222 versus Colorado. He's going against Oregon State, which is one of the worst defenses in the league, giving up 285 passing yards per game. They throw the ball 38% of the time, pass the ball or run the ball 62% of the time. You have to understand they've had some pretty dominant victories. They're going to run the ball more than they pass it. That's what happens when you're winning. You're not going to risk throwing interceptions. You're not going to risk any type of turnovers, things like that. You're just going to run the ball, milk the clock, get your team out of there, let them rest it for the next game, so on and so forth. So this game, I think, I don't want to say it stays super competitive because Oregon State doesn't look good. But I'm hoping they keep it close enough to where Connor Wayman can at least throw for 175, and I think he does. I think he throws for this. I don't think he goes under, and I'm going to give him a chance here tonight versus this Oregon State defense. So let's go ahead and pull this up real quick. Connor at 174.5. This does give you a 2X, so you get a double up on this slip if you want to tell it. I'll show you the slip that I locked in live. This is locked in on already posted in our Discord. Harris, Wayman, $100 to win $200 if you guys do want to tell this slip. Now, I'm going to lock this in live because I know people fake slips all the time. I don't want you guys to think I am, so I'm going to come over here, which not that you guys think I am, but I like to put my money where my mouth is live on video if I can. Right here, this is a 2.02x on Parlay Play, which is pretty much the same value. I'm going to throw another 250 on here with Parlay Play. I keep a big bankroll on Parlay Play, so I play more on here. But 250 to win 505. Harris, Wayman. Let's refresh so you know it's legit. Receiving yards, pass yards is locked in for a nice little double up. So if you guys want to tell that, it is there. If you don't like a play, obviously fade it. Don't tell everything all the time just if you don't like it. So trust your gut on here too, guys, because some of you guys are going to be able to coin flip some plays that I missed. So just throwing it out there. But anyways, let's jump into pick number 3 of the day and jump into our second slip of the day. So pick number 3 is going to be for our man Raleek Brown. I'm taking the Arizona State running back Raleek Brown over 59.5 rushing yards. If I can find it. So 59.5. He has cashed this in 3 of his 4 games this season. He is averaging 93 rushing yards per game. He had 110 versus Mississippi State, 144 versus Texas State. Then he had 80 versus Baylor. He is going against TCU, who has the 38th ranked defense in the league in terms of rushing yards allowed, giving up 107 rushing yards per game. They run the ball 55% of the ball. 55% of the time, pass the ball 45% of the time. Raleek Brown gets more touches than anybody else. If you look at Sam Leavitt, who is their quarterback, he has 42 rush attempts this season so far. Raleek Brown has 56, which is 35.4% of the rush share. He does get majority of the shares. If you look at his rush attempts, he's averaging 14 per game. He had 21 his last game versus Baylor. He had 18 versus Mississippi State. This is going to be a tough game versus TCU. This is going to be a game where they're going to need their best players to play probably most of the game, and I think Raleek Brown gets a lot of carries. I think he gets north of 18 to 20 again in this game. I don't think it's going to be a dominant victory. I don't think they're going to get behind so much that they can't run the ball, and I think 60 yards is going to be too low for a guy that's been rushing like this, and he's been dominant so far, and I think 59 is just low, so that's what I'm going to be locking in. Rush yards right here, Raleek Brown, it's actually 58.5 right now, so it come down by 1, and I haven't locked it in yet, so anyways, that is there if you want to take it. We'll see what it is on parlay play. So it's 59.5 on parlay play. Prizepicks is better value, but the payout on parlay play is still a little bit better. So that is there if you want to lock it in. And then who do we pair Raleek Brown with? I ended up pairing him with our man Josh Hoover. So I took Josh Hoover. I bought his line down slightly. So his passing yards I took down from 281 to 250, so 249.5. He's cashed this line 9 of his last 10 games, and every single game this season, he's averaging 333 passing yards per game this season so far. He just come off a 379 passing yard game versus SMU. If you look at Arizona State's passing yard defense, almost bottom 100. So they're giving up 240 passing yards per game. TCU passes the ball 53% of the time, and this is against teams that they've actually been dominant against. So you got to understand, if they're throwing the ball against teams, it's an air raid offense, man. They're going to throw the ball a lot. Josh Hoover is a very good quarterback. He's this offense has been dynamite so far, and I expect him to do the same thing here tonight versus ASU. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think Josh Hoover covers 250 pretty easily. So if you want to take his original line at 278.5, here's what I'm going to do. On this one, so bear with me. On Prizepicks, I'm going to take Josh Hoover right here with Raleek Brown. This gives you a 2.25x. I'm going to put $150 on it to win 337. This is what I'm locking this in. It will be posted in my Discord. I'm not logged in on my computer because it logs me out on my phone, and it's annoying as crap to log back in. So on Prizepicks, Raleek Brown and Josh Hoover is what I'm going to run on Prizepicks. I'm going to run the reverse over here on parlay play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a discounted line for Raleek Brown, and I'm going to play the Josh Hoover boost at 2x for his regular line at 278 passing yards. So we're going to take Raleek Brown at like 39.5 rush yards. This will give us a 2.5x, and then we'll play 250 on this one. That's the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to kind of swap them. I think they both cash. I really do. So I think the potential there. Obviously, we're going to have a good game for both of them to cash both their original lines. I'm expecting a shootout though, and we're going to need that for this. But regardless, I think one of them at least cashes, and I think both of them is going to. So Raleek Brown, 39.5 rush yards with Josh Hoover's boosted line on parlay play is what you're getting, and then we're running the reverse with Raleek Brown's regular line at 58.5 and Josh Hoover discounted at 249.5 on Prizepicks. I'm putting 150 on it. So that's what I've got for today, guys. I got this slip, which I'll show it on Prize. These two slips pretty much is what you got. And then if you want to play it on Prizepicks, it's there. I gave you guys my $1,250 pretty much 2-unit play over on Bovada if you want to play a teaser. But that's what I got, guys. That's what I like for today. Lock them in if you like them. Fade them if you don't. I hope you guys have an awesome day. I hope you cash everything. If you're not in our Discord, join the Discord. If you're not in there, it's free to join, man. There's a link in the description. Just click it and join. That's all it is, man. If you don't have Discord, sign up for it. It's great. Well, if you have any questions about anything in the Discord, or about any plays or anything, I'll try my best to answer them. I'm not in Discord 24/7, so obviously if I don't see it, I'm not ignoring you. But if I do see it, I'll try to answer it. And yeah. Anyways, hope you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see y'all in the next video.